Hello and welcome to today's Bitrix24 webinar, Self-Hosted Advantages. Thank you very much for joining today. Okay, so first of all, let's just go through some introductions. So I'm Sam Connor, Sales Manager here at Interface, and we are Bitrix24 Gold Partners based in the UK, the US, and Hong Kong. And we offer a full range of services to assist you with Bitrix24. So starting off with pre-sale support, so we can help you to evaluate Bitrix24 and see if it is a good fit for your key requirements. And if it is, we can then manage the onboarding for your business. So we can set up Bitrix24, have it working exactly how you need it to work. We can then help to implement the system and make sure it's designed how your organization works. If you're interested in the self-hosted edition, which we're going to be focusing on today, we can provide our hosting service for you. And we also provide tailored training and ongoing dedicated support and proactive advice to help you get the most possible value out of the Bitrix24 system. Okay, and before we go into focus on the self-hosted edition today, just want to talk a bit more generally about what Bitrix24 actually is. So if you are new to Bitrix, we'll just go through a few points here. So essentially, Bitrix24 is a collaboration suite of well in excess now of 40 different modules that you can use to help you to manage your business. And there are over 15 million customers now around the world that use the Bitrix24 system. And the system itself, it's available in two different editions. So we have the Bitrix24 Cloud, and then we have the Bitrix24 self-hosted solution. And when we say self-hosted, also classed as, it's also called on-premise, essentially, this is a private cloud edition of the Bitrix24 system. So you can host this either on your own local server, it could be on your own private cloud, or we can provide you with our hosting service. And then in terms of pricing, so prices start for approximately $49 per month on a cloud-based system. So that's looking at the basic cloud per month. And on the self-hosted system, that starts with the Business 50 edition, and that's priced at $3,590 in year one. And then in year two, you will pay a 25% renewal fee to continue to access the system. So you need to budget for that renewal moving forward. Okay, so now let's start to focus in on the self-hosted edition of Bitrix24. So with the self-hosted system, there are two different editions. So there's two versions of the self-hosted. So first of all, we have the business edition. And the business edition, this is the most popular and usually the most suitable solution for businesses. So with our business edition, you get additional functionality that you don't have on the cloud, such as access to the control panel. There's a help desk module and e-learning system. And with the business edition, it starts with the 50 user package. So you get 50 seats on the system, and that goes all the way up to the business 500 edition, so up to 500 seats. So as you grow the organization, you can easily expand the usage of your self-hosted edition, moving up through those tiers of packages. And then we also have our enterprise edition. So the enterprise edition, this is our most advanced product and allows a company essentially to establish an unlimited number of intranets, which can all be managed by one single global administrator within the control panel. So, for example, let's say a company who operates in multiple countries. They may want individual intranet sites with different languages and different branding for each of those different countries where they operate. So you could set up separate intranets for each one and have the roll-up of that management all managed by the global administrator within the control panel. So it's easy for your administrators to manage the access rights across all of those intranet sites. And with the Enterprise Edition, that starts on the 1000 tier package. So you could have 1,000 seats on the system, and then you can add additional 1,000 seat bolt-ons if you need to add additional users into the system. Okay, so that's a bit about the different editions. And if you have any questions, please do add them into the comments box on YouTube, and our team will be happy to provide answers for you. So let's now move on to discuss some of the benefits of the self-hosted solution. And we speak to a lot of businesses who are using the Bitrix cloud system, but they want the capability to be able to customize their Bitrix to a greater scale, essentially. So it's one of the key reasons why we move businesses to the self-hosted edition. So one of the main benefits of the self-hosted solution, it's the ability to customize the system. So self-hosted solutions are full content management systems which can be customized extensively. And we'll discuss this later on. You've got access to the source code, so it's possible to really customize to the most customization capability compared to the cloud system. And with the self-hosted, you can brand the solution. Okay, so you can remove the Bitrix24 branding. And let's say, for example, on the login page, you might want to incorporate your branding and your branding colors and themes. So you can customize the login page with your corporate identity. And it's also on your own domain. We've mentioned briefly already about the control panel. So the control panel is the area for administrators to make changes to modules, and those modules can be configured in very advanced ways within the control panel. So if you are currently on the cloud edition, then I think you'll be extremely impressed with the additional functionality available within that control panel. Okay, and then as we mentioned there is full access to the source code. So what this means is if the customization you want cannot be configured actually within the control panel, it is usually possible to do this directly in the code. And Bitrix is built on its own framework in PHP. So just making a note here, if you are thinking of changing the source code, it really should only be attempted if you have experience of PHP, as well as a very good knowledge of the Bitrix24 platform itself. So alternatively, if you don't have that experience, a partner such as ourselves here at Interface, we can perform this type of customization for you and manage that customization project. You also, with the self-hosted system, have greater capability in terms of integration. Okay, so the API is available on the self-hosted solution, so it allows you to integrate with thousands of other platforms. Essentially, you can control the integration. So whether that is the one-way or a two-way integration and the speed of the connection. We also have additional features on the self-hosted. So these aren't available on the cloud. So there's features such as the e-learning module, analytics, and the help desk module. Okay. So what we'll now do is let's take a look at some of those benefits in more detail. And as we mentioned, one of the main reasons for choosing a self-hosted option, it's that ability to customize the look, and also not just the look, the feel of your intranet. So the site can be customized to match your corporate look, and the functionality can be configured to make using the system a lot more intuitive. And I would say that's one of the key aspects with the self-hosted system is we can customize the UI, removing functionality that maybe you don't require. So essentially we can simplify the product for your teams. And that's really critical when you're onboarding staff. You want to keep the system as simplified as possible for each user, so they can then start to get value out of the system. And that's really where you have that capability with the self-hosted system. So first of all, we've got styling. So many areas can be branded, and we'll take a look at in a short while actually at what a branded login page will look like. You've got the ability to edit. So any page can be edited within the control panel, and administrators can create custom pages using the page editor wizard. So you've got that really the scalability here to customize the Bitrix24 system to exactly capture what information you would like to display within your intranet. In terms of navigation, as I briefly mentioned there, so what you can do to improve the user experience and also save time navigating modules is the links in the navigation panel. They are fully editable, and it's actually possible to display different navigation items for different sets of users. So let's say if I'm part of the sales team, in my menu, I might just see the CRM system. For example, if I'm part of the project team, I might see the workflows, the project management area, the tasks. So you can really customize the actual UI and navigation menu for all of your different teams within the organization. And with dashboards, we can customize. So it's possible to create custom dashboards to display different sets of data on a page. So for example, you might want a sales dashboard or a projects dashboard. And we've got that custom portal feature. So the custom portal, the extranet site, it's available on the cloud as well. But again, with the self-hosted system, because you can customize the styling and the actual editing of the products, it's a very big use case when using the self-hosted system to actually customize the extranet site. So when you're inviting your clients, for example, into the system, you can rebrand it, you can remove features that aren't required, and you can also add features that maybe you would feel are a benefit for your customers. So you get a lot more control over to the look and the feel when the customer is coming into the extranet site. And that's really important for many organizations. And then finally, all modules are customizable, and it's possible to create your own bespoke modules, actually to perform specific tasks within the business that you can't do on the cloud system. So if you are using a Bitrix cloud system right now, but you're feeling restricted, you want to really expand the functionality you get from your Bitrix24 system, then we can have a conversation with you about the self-hosted solution. So let's go over now to our Bitrix system and let's take a look at some of the functionality in more detail. So first of all, we'll go into just take you our login page first of all. So you can see here, this is a Bitrix24 self-hosted system because this has been fully rebranded. All the Bitrix24 branding of the login page has been removed and it's on our own domain here. So really important for some businesses to have that corporate identity and look to their software system. You can do that here with the self-hosted option. And if we now go into our Bitrix system, as you can see, I'm an administrator on this particular instance. So you can see here, I can see and access the control panel. Okay, so inside here, I can start to go into here. And if I turn on the edit mode, I can now start to edit areas of the Bitrix24 system. So for example, I might want to modify the menu items, for example. So I can start to customize the terminology, what menu items are displayed. But if we just go over to this is a cloud edition here, you can see we don't have access to customize that menu item. You don't have access to that control panel. So this is a big aspect of the self-hosted system. We're starting to talk more here about that ability to customize the product, and it's using the features here within the control panel. So this is what you, as I mentioned, your administrators would be able to access. We wouldn't give access for just your standard users to be able to do this inside the system. But within here, we can then start to, as I say, edit pages and customize the menu items inside the system. Okay, so that is a look at how we can start to customize the system. And we mentioned in one area of the customization, it's the ability to create new pages within your Bitrix24 platform. So actually, let's now take a look at how we can customize and create new content essentially inside our Bitrix system. Okay, so what we'll do first of all is let's just go in our modules here. We're just going to go into, you can see we've got a module here called company. So if we go into here right now, in the company area, we've just got a sitemap. So we've got a navigation area where we can navigate to different areas of the Bitrix24 system. But what we want to do in here, and this is what a lot of businesses like to do, is they like to store an area where all of the policy information for their business is centralized for users to be able to access. So that would go really well inside the company module. So what we're going to do here is we're going to add another item inside the module here, and we're going to add content to that page to store information about the company policies. So what we do to go into here is we need to go into the control panel, and then within here we go into the content section. Okay, And then that folds us down here into the About section. So this is where now we can, in the file area, in the About section, we can now add a new page inside the system. So what we're going to do first of all is let's add that new page into the system. So just to explain what we can see here, these are all the current pages that we have across the Bitrix24 system. So let's now add a file into here. Okay, so this has now opened up the page editing area. So first of all, what we want to do is give this page a title. Okay, so we've got that information about the page. And then inside here, this is where we can now start to add information about that policy. So this is where the content for the page is added. Okay, so we're adding some information, and it doesn't just have to be text format here. You can add and embed videos into here, so you can really customize this to display exactly what information you would like to show. So let's now save that information about the policies page. And then what we want to do is we want to add a menu item. So across the top of the module, we want to have an area where people can navigate to actually see that page. So what we'll do is let's give, this is going to be the title for the menu item. Okay, so we'll add that there. And then we can add our link to the page. So we've got our backslash set up, and now let's apply that and save. Okay, so there what we've done is we have created a page, we've added some content to that page, and then we've linked a menu item within the module. So let's now go back to the front end of the system here. So we can now see that policies 2024 menu item is displayed in the system, and we can see that the content, the information and text that we added to that page, that is now displaying inside the system here. So we're explaining that this is going to be the policies page, and we're going to be adding information onto the page here. So that's how simple it is to create new content, new pages in your Bitrix24 system. You simply don't have that capability of customization within the cloud edition of Bitrix. And if we go back into the menu item here, we'll just now go, right now we're on the simple mode here, but let's go into the advanced mode. Because what we can do inside the advanced mode here, where we've got the policies information, what I'm now going to do is we can put specific permissions in place. So we might actually deny access for certain people, or we might say this page, it's only accessible to certain groups of people within the system. So we might say it's for certain, maybe departments, or you might want to restrict the visibility of that page to specific users. So again, with the control panel here, we can put conditions and rules in place to ensure you might want to control the visibility of that content that we're creating inside the Bitrix24 system. So I'm hoping what you're seeing today is starting to show you a real flavor as to how completely advanced the self-hosted system is on the Bitrix24 platform and versions, and how flexible it is to control who is able to access specific information through the application. Okay, so we have had a question come in earlier on. Is it possible to customize the templates? So I believe you're referring to the background here. So yes, it is possible. Now, this isn't just on the self-hosted system. You can customize the background by configuring it like so. So that's where you can add your themes. It's also possible to add custom themes as well. So you can click on custom theme and apply your own corporate theme to the background as well. So that's how you can customize the background theme on the Bitrix system. Okay, so then we've looked at how we can customize and add content to our Bitrix system. We also mentioned, in terms of the benefits, we briefly talked about the external portal feature and how with the self-hosted system, because of that capability to customize the system, you can really rebrand the product and customize the UI for your external users. So let's now, if we just go on into our extranet site now, what we can see here, so this is the client portal area where the client can log in to the application. So let's say if you're working on a project with your customer, you might want to invite them in so that they can collaborate with you. Now, as I've mentioned, you can do this on the cloud edition of Bitrix and on the self-hosted. With the self-hosted, there's lots of benefits. So you can rebrand the system. So you can remove all the Bitrix24 branding. And as you can see on ours here, we've got some widgets here. So we've got links. So we're customizing the UI here to hyperlink to different areas we would want the customer to navigate to. And also we can fix the menu structure here on the left-hand side to control what they're able to view and to access. So that's really important, having that menu structure very clear. We can customize the banners and widgets here on the side. You've got that branded login portal, also with your own URL, such as here, demo.interface/extranet. And we've got those external links as well inside the navigation menu. So there's quite a lot here, even though they're making quite simple features, but adding all of that together for where your customer logs in, you're getting a really more powerful customer portal than if you use the standard extranet site available with Bitrix24. Okay, so that is a look at the extranet site on the self-hosted edition. And now we'll talk about some of the additional functionality that is available on the Bitrix24 self-hosted system. So as we mentioned, all of the functionality that you have right now on the Bitrix cloud, it is available on the self-hosted system, apart from features such as the BI builder, which is currently on the cloud system, that will be rolling out into the self-hosted system in the near future. But with the self-hosted system, there are modules that are not available on the cloud system. So let's take a look at some of those in more detail, such as our help desk system. So what you can do with the Bitrix24 system, if we go back into the control panel, then what we can enable here is a help desk system for your internal teams to manage support tickets. Okay, so what we can do inside here is we can allow users to submit help desk tickets, and they will then come into your help desk module within Bitrix24 for your support teams to then manage. And there are 3 different ways that these tickets can be managed. Okay, so first of all, a ticket can be submitted via an email. So what we can do inside the system is we can put mailbox rules on the mailboxes that you integrate into Bitrix. Okay, so on here, for example, we could set up a rule to create a support ticket inside the help desk module. So that's then automatically going to create a ticket in the system. Agents could also manually add a ticket. What's really nice with this is you can also enable on the external portal feature the ability for customers to be able to create new tickets inside their support area here. So they can then create tickets inside the system. And what's nice here is they can see all of their tickets inside their customer portal here. So when tickets get updated by the support team, they're going to be able to see all of that conversation and history log through the tickets inside their support on the customer portal. And we've also got the support wizard tool. So inside here, you can create a new ticket, and that would then take the customer through a series of questions that they have to answer before they can submit their ticket. So you're almost starting to troubleshoot the ticket before the client is able to submit it. So we're ensuring, using the support wizard, that we have all of the critical information that's required so we can then start to answer that ticket straight away. Okay, so that's a help desk system available on our Bitrix24 self-hosted system. And we also have the ability to create courses on the self-hosted system. So another capability is our e-learning module. So with this, what you can do is you can create content courses directly inside your Bitrix24 system. So essentially, this is the ability for you to create courses, to allow staff to demonstrate their knowledge in particular subject areas. So for example, here we've got a health and safety course. So you can build out your courses inside the Bitrix system here, adding your content and descriptions. And then you can also add your questions inside the question section for what questions the employee or external user needs to answer to complete the course. So if we go into our courses section, say if we click on the health and safety course, we've got some information and videos that we need to answer first of all. We've got some content to go through to familiarize ourselves with the subject matter. And then once we have reviewed that information, we then have an exam to complete to actually demonstrate that we have learnt through the course. So I can then answer our questions. Okay, so we can then complete that, and then we can view our results. And what we can do is we can put a minimum threshold on the test. So you might need to score a specific score before you're able to have passed the test. Okay, and that can then create a badge inside your user profile as well. So you can see here, there is not just alongside the customization capabilities like we've seen in the control panel where you can build out your own content pages. The Bitrix system also includes additional modules on the self-hosted system that you can take advantage of. Okay, so that is a look there at some of the additional functionality, and then moving on to discuss some of the integration capabilities. This is probably the third most important area and benefit of the self-hosted solution. It's the advanced integrations that you can manage. So we mentioned already around email. So with the self-hosted system, it allows you to fully sync incoming emails into the system, and that can then generate specific workflows and actions inside the Bitrix24 system, such as creating a support ticket inside the help desk area, or you might want it to do some other type of action. With the self-hosted system, it's possible to manage that process through the system. And we also have the advanced API, so you've got the access to the full API, so you can integrate with other applications, and you can control the actual integration in more complexity details, such as how often the integration is syncing, for example. You're not restricted using the REST API. So if you're looking for a Bitrix system where if you're wanting to create the advanced integrations and advanced customizations, then the self-hosted system really is the solution you want to be evaluating. And that moves us on nicely to actually discuss the hosting options in more detail. So obviously with the self-hosted edition, it's a private cloud instance of Bitrix, you need to have a hosting solution in place. Okay, and there are different options for you. So you have a choice either to host this in-house, or you could use the interface hosting service as well. So for self-hosting, if you want to host this yourself, we can provide you with a virtual appliance, which is a free application that allows Bitrix to be run in a pre-configured and fully secured virtual environment. And this saves time on product installation, on maintenance, and also improves the overall system performance. So we can provide you with our virtual appliance if you want to host this yourself. The alternative option is we can provide our hosting service, and this is what we class as a dedicated private cloud solution. So some of the benefits of using the interface hosting service are the server performance is all managed by ourselves, and the server is optimized for speed. And what we will then also manage is the backup. So your data secure and fully backed up, you can control that backup retention policy. And what's really nice using our hosting service is projects can be scaled without having to invest yourselves in further hardware. So it's very easy for us to scale that server infrastructure. And we do this a lot for clients who we provide our hosting service for. So essentially using ourselves, it becomes a fully managed service, essentially. So it saves you time and provides peace of mind, especially if you don't have internal IT capabilities within your departments. And in terms of pricing, so it's around $2,950 per year to start with for 100 gig of hosting service. And that brings us on nicely to discuss the other aspects of pricing for the self-hosted system. So we've already mentioned at the start, the self-hosted system starts with the Business 50 edition. That's priced at $3,590 for year one. And then in year two and ongoing annually, you'll pay a renewal fee to continue to access that system. So that's $897.50. As we mentioned, there are additional versions here, such as the 100 user, the 250, the 500 user, and it goes into the thousands. So we can discuss the pricing with you if you're looking to scale your Bitrix system. We mentioned about partner hosting, so that would be approximately $2,950 for 100 gig. Again, that can be scaled into the terabytes depending on your requirements. And then you also need to budget for those additional capabilities that you may want to manage within Bitrix, such as customizations and integrations. You want to budget for those. And the self-hosted edition, it's the most advanced edition of Bitrix. So we simply wouldn't recommend implementing a self-hosted system without training and dedicated support in place to ensure you're able to be managed on using the Bitrix system for your internal requirements. So we can provide that training and premium support. Okay, so in summary today, I really hope you've seen how we can use the Bitrix self-hosted system to fully customize the product to your specific requirements, using the control panel features, using the code, and customizing the navigation menus. You're able to get a fully customized, branded Bitrix24 system. You've got the capability to use the API to complete integrations and also additional functionality such as creating rules based on mailbox applications. And we've got the extra features. So not just the additional content we can add ourselves into Bitrix, but also the additional features such as the e-course module builder and the help desk system as well. So that is the end of today's self-hosted advantages webinar. Thank you very much for joining today. Just want to show you here is a selection of our up and coming webinars in the future, and you can register for those at intraface.com/webinars. We're here every other Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. If you do have any other questions in the meantime, you can contact us sales@intraface.com and one of our team will be happy to assist you. Okay, thank you very much for your time today. Bye for now.